Morning. It's Thursday, February 15th. And once again, we in the United States have a government that has stepped to the plate and shown the world how stupid they are. And I'm talking about this situation with Alejandro Mayorkas and this Congress. Republican-dominated Congress by about 6 votes has voted to impeach Mayorkas. They're impeaching him because they and the rest of their colleagues can't do the job that's associated with immigration. They're blaming the whole immigration system on Mayorkas. He's not doing a good job. So they impeached him. The first cabinet member to be impeached ever, as far as I know, but certainly since the Civil War. So in any event, why this grandstanding? Why this waste of time by Congress? Why don't they sit down and come up with a strong immigration policy that's enforceable and that doesn't cost us hundreds of $billions to enforce? No, that's not the way it's going to get done. We're going to point the finger at this one guy who's in an untenable position because of whatever law we have associated with immigration. Can you tell me? Can any of you out there tell me what the real immigration laws are? When we have ridiculous policies that allow anybody to come to the gate and claim asylum? And yes, they come and they get claim and 40% of them get turned away anyhow. But you can't tell me that 60% of the people that need asylum, they're running for their lives. They're desperate people and they need help. And we should be able to help them in some way, shape, or form. But we haven't figured out how to handle that package, how to create laws that allow sensible human beings to come to the gate. These people are not insensible, they're desperate. They gotta be desperate if you see them trying to cross the Rio Grande River that's loaded with barbed wire. This is a terrible situation that this country is in. And it's not one man's fault. So they pick him out. They're setting an example. But they're also setting an example for the stupidity that's behind the execution of this impeachment. Why? Why waste that valuable time when you could be sitting there and attempting to fix the problem? Why isn't there a committee that has been set aside by Congress for the sole purpose of working on our immigration problem? Would that be too much to ask? Gather up 10 or 12 reliable congressmen. Let them put together a team of maybe 50 people to come up with an enforceable immigration plan. Something that's not going to cost the country hundreds of billions of dollars. Something that's going to allow credible people to come into this country and do work that many in this country don't want to do. There are better things that Congress could be spending their time on. How about working on the poverty situation in this country? 50 million citizens in this country living at the level of poverty. And we are concerned about those who are trying to come into the country. And rightly so. We should be concerned about that, but we should also be concerned about many of our citizens who are here already and getting screwed. How many states do we have that still have a $7.50 an hour minimum wage? Is Congress worried about that? No. They need a standoff, something that they can show off to half the country that agrees with them. Why? Why has immigration gotten to this point? Yes, it was better under under Donald Trump, but it wasn't a really good immigration system. It was just lock the door and keep them out. That's not a system. Anybody can dream up something like that. We're not going to let anybody into the country. How would that be? That would be terrible because we need an influx of people. Our birth rates are not what they should be, and rightly so, because with living wages at $7.50 an hour, you can't have a lot of children. And so we have allowed our government and our officials to get away with murder because they, who have produced this terrible situation, are backed by millions of people in this country who don't want any immigrants in the country in the first place. So this is just another black mark on our scorecard, so to speak, that we are sitting here trying to not help those who need help. And I am not saying that everybody's come to the border that needs help desperately, but many of them do. And then you hear the stories about the fentanyl and all of those other things that are going on. Those are minor problems, and they will exist whether we had an immigration situation or not. And these people are not carrying fentanyl in. Those fentanyl are delivered by trucks from all over nations. So that's a lie and an excuse for not being able to create the formula to solve the immigration problems that we have. So I'm sitting here this morning thinking about what I should talk about, and this is what I come up with. And it's a sorry situation. And I see no end in sight as long as we have this makeup in our Congress. People who have nothing better to do than waste time on impeaching somebody who's trying to do one of the toughest jobs in the cabinet. And I believe that if they wanted to impeach, they should have produced a long list of all the things that Mayorkas did not do. All of the things that this Congress believes should be done to control immigration. That list doesn't exist. So now this case moves on to the Senate, where it requires a 2/3 majority to pass. And there's no way in hell that they're going to get 2/3 of the senators to pass this thing. So this is a wasted effort by a Congress that has got nothing done. And I'll tell you how bad this Congress is. In the last year, before this Congress came into being, 81 laws were created and passed. And this Congress has only managed to pass 39 laws. So what are they doing there? Wasting their time trying to impeach a guy who's doing the best he possibly can with his hands tied behind his back. And so that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the country is not happy with that situation either. 63% want tougher policies at the border, but who creates those policies? Not Mayorkas. It's up to Congress to create the rules and regs for the border. So I leave you with that. 214 people who haven't done a good job, blaming one poor guy. How's that look? It sucks to me. Have a great day. Bye.